Peace, assalamu alaikum, hotep, grand rising, praise God, what's up, what's happening, or whatever it is that you ascribe to. Dead eye, you ain't bigger than the mob, part 6. Now, in this one right here, it's going to be kind of long, so y'all going to have to bear with me. It's a lot of elements and a lot of characters that that's in this story. So before I get into the story, I have to explain the backstory of each character, and I have to explain some of the events that took place to lead up to the story of Dead. I had to make a call to get J Memphis smashed. So I'm gonna start with J Memphis. J Memphis, he was from Memphis, Tennessee. He wasn't affiliated. I think they said at one point he was gonna become a vice lord, but I don't know what happened. It didn't happen. And J Memphis, he was on another zone. He was working in the kitchen, but he ended up on our zone because his homeboy, Lil Freezy, was on the zone. You know, they were kind of tight. Lil Freezy from Memphis. Lil Freezy was a GD. Lil Freezy was rapping with me, and Lil Freezy, he can do the gangster walk real good. That's what we call it in Mississippi, the gangster walk. But in Memphis, they call it juking. Like when some music playing, like Lil Freezy, he could do that shit real good. And then you had Lil Rat. Lil Rat was from Columbus, Mississippi. I talked to Lil Rat a couple years ago. He back locked up in Green County right now. And, but I ain't gonna put his business out there. But I got some stories about Lil Rat. He was from Columbus, Mississippi, and Lil Rat was GD. And you got Crazy K. Crazy K was from Gary, Indiana. He was a vice lord, but he was also rapping with me, Lil Freezy, and Lil Rat. So I have to tell this part of the story first before I get into the part of Dead. I had to make the call to get J Freezy smashed. So over time, I told y'all, you know, I used to rap me, Lil Rat, and Lil Freezy. It started off with us three. And I came up with this group called ISM. And if y'all can go back down my videos, and you can see I was rapping when I first came home. My name on YouTube was Yasa ISM. And I got it tatted right here. ISM. ISM. You know, I told y'all I did a lot of reading. And God blessed me with a gift. Let me go to a commercial break if I may. God blessed me with a gift to be a natural born leader. And I'm not saying this to be bragging and patting myself on the back. I'm just telling the truth. I am a natural born leader, and I realized I had this gift while I was in prison. But I had it, you know, I was doing it, you know, ever since you know, even on the streets, but I was doing it without knowing I was doing it. I ain't know that I had the gift. And so ISM is stemmed from ism. Ism is a term in the dictionary. It has a kind of religious or cult-like following definition. So I adopted that and I turned ism to an acronym, ISM. And ISM means I'm serious, motherfucker. So me, Lil Rat, and Freezy, we started calling ourselves ISM. And ISM started picking up. I'm in Marshall, we in Marshall County still. It started picking up, and you had other GDs, vice lords, they wanted, because they was rapping too, and they wanted to be a part of the group. And I am the leader of the group. So it got to a point where the heads of the GDs and the heads of the vice lords came to me and told me that I cannot do that because it's gonna cause some confusion. And the reason why they had this meeting with me is because Crazy K, the vice lord, we pulled him into the rap group, and Crazy K got into an altercation with another vice lord. They wanted to violate Crazy K. They did violate Crazy K, but before they carried the violation out, me, Lil Rat, Lil Freezy, and all the other ISM members, we tried to assist Crazy K. So it was a whole big old issue about that. So they had the meeting with me and said, we can't do that. You know, y'all can still be the rap group or whatever. Cause what we was doing, it was a lot of rappers in Marshall County. I'm talking about when we go on the yard, when they call it a big yard, and the big yard is when they let multiple buildings be on the yard together. And we used to be out there rapping in competition with other rap groups. And so it became an issue because of Crazy K. So they ended up violating Crazy K. They ain't smash him and strip him. They ain't send him to the hole, and then, you know what I mean? They just violated him. And so fast forward, Jay Memphis, he fall on his own. I told y'all him and the Freezer was real cool. And Jay Memphis can rap, man. He can rap real good. And Jay Memphis, he was one of them. His character was like, he was like grimy. He had tattoos all on his face. His voice was deep. And he was just like, he had a grimy type swag, but he really was a cool dude. You know what I mean? And so in Marshall County, and I know I'm dragging the story out, but I gotta tell the certain events that happened. So that was one event that happened with Crazy K. And I talked to Crazy K a couple years ago too. He doing good, but I lost contact with him. But in Marshall County, they used to have a lot of programs and events that they used to do, like Cairo. I told y'all they had the Toastmasters Club. Like Marshall County was, at this time, it changed over time, but Marshall County was one of them prisons where the administration had a rehabilitation type feel, if you could pick up what I'm putting down. Like they wanted to implement programs to really help inmates, you know, change their lives and go home and be a productive citizen of society. And the administration had a lot of respect for me because of my character and how I move, even though they knew I was affiliated. But, you know, it's just certain things I just didn't get involved with because, you know, I used to think for myself. I ain't letting nobody think for me. And again, I'm not saying that to be boasting and bragging, but, you know, it's the truth. So they had so much respect for me to the point where we came up with an idea for a concert. And I can't remember, I think it was around Christmas time. I think it was Christmas Eve. I really can't remember, but to make a long story short, they allowed us to put on a concert, bro. And I'm talking about, bro, we rocked it. You hear what I'm saying? But, you know, you had some, you know, they implemented some other stuff. Like, it was a talent show. That's what it was. So, I mean, you got a lot of talented individuals in prison. So there was some singers, there was some more rappers. You know what I mean? It was just, you know, it was, we was vibing, bro. The energy was good that night. But I'm talking about we rocked it. And I can't remember the name of the song, but we had a song where all four of us, me, Crazy K, Lil Rat, Lil Freezy, I mean all five of us, and Jay Memphis, we had a song that we wrote and did together, and we performed this song at the talent show, and we won first place. I bullshit you not. I mean, we rocked it, but Jay Memphis, one thing I can say about him, and I took his swag and I brought it to the streets. But one thing I can say about him, he was for the lack of a better term, he was a shock jocker. Like when we performed, you know, me and Lil Rat and we doing our thing. I'm talking about we had microphones and everything. Somebody was playing the drums, but we had a little system where we had the instrumental on, and we rocked it. I mean, we doing our thing, but Jay Memphis, he had the last verse, and when it was his time to go, Jay Memphis was sliding across the floor like he was Eddie Kane and 5 heartbeats. I swear to God, and he turned it up, bro. We won first place, so that's another event that I wanted to put in here. All right, so let's get to the story. So Jay Memphis, he was working in the kitchen, and one day, him and another GD got to fighting. And 2-3 more other GDs, you know, they tried to jump on him. Now Jay Memphis, he was real tall, real skinny, and he wasn't no punk. You know what I mean? He wasn't no punk, so you know he stood tall with these guys. You know what I mean, in the kitchen. But you know, the administration was tricky sometimes, because in this situation, you know, they all got rolled up, but they ain't go to the hole. They stayed in the hole probably like a day or so. I mean, prison could be funny like that sometimes. I mean, usually when you got a fight of this magnitude, you go into the hole and you gonna stay in that hole at least a month to 3 months. It depends on how severe it was. You know what I mean? But I guess, you know, sometimes the administration would let a situation go, depending on the individuals. If they see that, you know, they not gonna continue this, they not gonna hold a grudge. I mean, they probably apologize to each other. It probably was a misunderstanding, but they still got rolled up, so they still gonna get some disciplinary action. But you know, they let them all out the hole. Now the guys, the GDs he got to fighting with, they wasn't in our zone, but Jason was. So Jason came back on his own. You know what I mean? And he kept walking through the door with his property. Dead eye. Good morning, America. So what happened was, Big Dog, he made the call like, you know, Jay Memphis gonna have to get smashed. So I'm guessing Dead Eye already knew this, and that's why he hit the Good Morning America. So when Jason came on his own, you know, the rest of the GDs really didn't know what was going on. And, you know, a lot of people were rocking with Jay Memphis, mainly because he was rocking with us, you know, me and Lil Rat now, you know, we rapping and whatnot. You know, we used to keep the zone crunk, you know, just rapping, man. I'm talking about, they used to give us Zuzus and Wham Wham just to put on a concert on the zone, bro. I promise you, we used to have the zone. We used to have the zone rocking. So Dead Eye, he called the OD. So we in the OD, and Dead Eye, and you know, he running into us like the word that came down from Big Dog, like Jay Memphis got to get smashed, bro. And I'm like, dang, for real, bro. I say, let me holler at Big Dog first. He was like, nah, man. I mean, he got to be dealt with, bro. He got to fighting with them brothers. So I'm like, but they killed the situation, and you had a few more other GDs that you know, they was siding with me, but you had some of them, you know, some of them, they be with the bullshit. Like, no, bro done sent the word down, so you know we gotta handle the business, bro. We already know how it go. once the word come down, you know, the business got to be handled. So I'm like, man. So, the day that I called the OD over, and he was like, before he called it over, he was like, he gonna appoint who gonna handle the business, and he appointed like 4-5 GDs because you know they already know J Memphis ain't going for real, and if these 4-5 GD can't hold up, then you know everybody probably gonna have to jump on. But I'm already telling myself, and I know Lil Rat and Lil Freezer, I know they feeling the same way. Like, you know, I ain't, you know, especially Lil Freezer, because this is homeboy. You know what I mean? So it was really just a bad situation, man, because, you know, me, Lil Rat, and Lil Freezer, bro, like, we rock with each other. Like, we'd already said, we don't care who it is. We ride with each other, and that's just what it was. Cause, you know, doing my dudes, bro, they looked up to me. Even though I'm young, bro, I'm like 18, 19, 20 at the time, but they younger than me. And, you know, they really looked up to me, bro. They really looked to me for leadership and guidance, bro. You know what I mean? And we just had a bond, you know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, bro. So I went and talked to Dead Eye again, you know what I mean? Trying to get him to see, like, you know, it ain't worth it, bro. Like, they really had them killed the situation, man. I said, nah, if we smash the brother, or if y'all smash the brother, because I ain't getting involved in that. If y'all smash J Memphis, bro, they gonna bring a lot of undue heat, man. You know what you got going on, you know what I mean? And he was like, bro, you know, I'm in position, bro. Like, you already know how this go, man. Like, I'm in position. The call came down, bro. And hey, I ain't bigger than the mob, you know what I mean? So he was like, bro, it got to happen, bro, and it got to happen today. And I'm like, man, damn, bro, I'm still trying to prolong the situation, man. But, man, they get the whooping, J Memphis, bro. But he fighting back, man. He fighting back, bro. And then, out of nowhere, like I said, that's Lil Freezer homeboy. Out of nowhere, Lil Freezer, he jumped in it. And man, it just turned into a big old chaos. So Dead Eye trying to stop Lil Freezer. Him and Dead Eye and Lil Freezer get the throwing blows. I'm talking about it just, the whole zone is just in chaos. So the administration, they see what's going on, bro. And they get on the walkie-talkie, the officers, you know what I mean, run down there. Now, in Marshall County, they wouldn't like in Parchment and Greene County. You know, they ain't gonna too much come in and start spraying people with the pepper spray. And then 9 times out of 10, when, you know, they know the administration coming, everybody gonna fall back, man. You know what I mean? Everybody gonna fall back, because don't nobody really want to go to the hole. But the person that was in the tower, man, she went to pointing, bro. And, I mean, this situation, bro, it was so crazy, bro. It really messed up everything that we had going on this zone. Like this is the end. This was when I was telling y'all, like, ain't nothing gonna always stay good. Ain't nothing gonna always stay the same in prison. So this really messed up everything. You know what I mean? So I had to sit back when I seen Lil Freezer make the move he made. I had to sit back and just, you know, I didn't get myself involved in it. Lil Rat didn't get himself involved in it because, you know, Lil Rat, he GD, like, you know what I mean? He GD, so he really, you know, he ain't trying to go against the mob. But dang, Lil Freezer, why you ain't get in it? You know what I mean? But anyway, so the administration with the pointing fingers, they took Jay Memphis to the hole. They took Dead Eye to the hole. They took Lil Freezy to the hole. They took about 3-4 more GDs to the hole. And like I said, man, they just messed up the whole flow. I mean, they came in, bro. They tore the zone up, man. You know, they shook everybody down, bro. They tore the zone up. They found weed. Man, they just messed up everything, bro. But hey, that's how it go in prison sometimes. So Dead Eye, Dead Eye ended up staying in a hole for a month. Lil Freezy, he ended up staying in the hole for like a month. And Jay Memphis, they sent him to another prison. But Lil Freezy and Dead Eye, they ended up coming back to the same zone. But let me back up a little bit. Before they got out the hole, you know, the next day, after all that transpired, the next day, Big Dog, you know, he wanted to know what happened. So I'm explaining to him what happened. Me and Lil Rat, we explained to him what happened. And the other GDs that were left on the zone, they said how, you know, they was carrying out the car. And Lil Freezy jumped in to help his homeboy. And I'm already knowing how Big Dog think. Like, damn, he went against the mob. You know, I'm like, bro, I'm trying to talk him out of, you know, smashing Lil Freezy. And then, you know, he was like, bro, you know, I'm gonna have to think about that one. I'm gonna have to sit on that one, bro. He was like, well, they in the hole now, so it really ain't nothing, you know, we could do. I mean, even though he can get him whooped in the hole too, but, you know, he was like, I'm gonna have to sit on that, bro. You know what I mean? So me and Lil Rat, we making sure Lil Freeze is straight as far as canteen or whatnot. But the po box, the brothers who were holding the po box, they making sure Dead Eye straight, and the other GDs that went to the hole. And man, like the whole zone, the whole atmosphere, you know, it done changed, bro. Like you had other people coming in from other prisons, other people coming in from Rankin County, other new inmates coming in. But you know, just so happened there was a couple racks open, and they brought Dead Eye and Freezy back to the same zone, bro. Like, so it's a waiting game now as far as what's gonna happen to Lil Freezy, bro. And I'm just thinking, like, dang, bro, this shit crazy, man. I don't even want to, like, I ain't even in the spirit to be plugged in no more. You know what I mean? Because the whole atmosphere is in change, man. You know what I mean? And I don't know what's gonna happen to Lil Freezy. I don't want nothing to happen to Lil Freezy, so I gotta make a decision if I'ma unplug and ride with Lil Freezy, man. You know what I mean? It's all on my mind. And so when they fall back on the zone, I'm already knowing it's just a matter of time before Big Dog made the call, man. You know what I mean? And I'm praying, I'm really praying and hoping that Big Dog use reasoning and logic to not get Lil Freezy smashed. But I know something gotta happen. You know what I mean? Because he went against the mob. Dead Eye, he didn't go against the mob. So I'm knowing something gotta happen. But guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. Y'all be smooth out here.